and this is Killer Kyle, and welcome to Wheels of Fury. Hey, Mean Matt here, and this is Killer Kyle, and welcome to Wheels of Fury. And if you can't tell by my shades, we're going to talk about In Your House, Canadian Stampede, 97. And yeah, the last few times I've called it Calgary Stampede, but it is in fact Canadian Stampede.
Yes.
And what a good show this was.
Yeah, for sure. It was certainly interesting. The matches that they had and moments that happened and just everything as a whole just was very intriguing.
When you look at the year, like 95 to 90, well, most of 97
Yeah.
was kind of like I was a casual wrestling fan.
Right.
So I didn't pay attention that much because of school and whatnot. But I could read the magazines and keep up again, like when I started in 92.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 97 was one of those years in the WWF where it was like the North American War. You had Bret Hart versus Steve Austin,
Yeah.
and you had the whole, I guess, Canada versus America war.
Basically, yeah.
So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You know, and you had like the Patriot was there for a bit, and that was an interesting gimmick. Of course, you know, when you look at it now, it's like Bret Hart was a face in Canada, but when you're in the States, you're pretty much a heel. So
Yeah. And you know, it almost seems fitting to talk about In Your House 97 Canadian Stampede. You, of course, got the Bret Hart shades and I got the Canada shirt.
But also, last weekend they were in Toronto
Yes.
for SummerSlam and NXT. So
Yes.
I guess we're gonna continue our Canadian.
Continue the Canadian theme.
Hell yeah. So we got the Blackjacks, the new Blackjacks, and Barry Windham and Bradshaw versus.
The Godwins. Henry and Phineas Godwin.
Yeah. This is the time too where obviously I got to see Bradshaw.
Right.
I don't remember Justin Hawk Bradshaw,
Right.
so to see this Bradshaw when he was Blackjack, you know, it was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
In, you know, the revival, also Barry Windham, who's also related to Mulligan, so
Yes.
it was pretty cool to see that team. I mean, not sure if they were fake mustaches or not, but
I don't think so.
yeah. And then, of course, the Godwins. The Godwins were one of the best take teams in the late 90s, in my opinion. You know, you have the gimmick, obviously, the Hillbillies and
Yeah.
Hillbilly Jim, and of course, the cool dancing that they would do after a match, and
Yeah.
little basset hound. It was a really good, take team at the time.
Oh yeah, for sure. The Godwins were a very good tag team, and the Blackjacks, of course, you got Barry Windham, who of course is the son of Blackjack Mulligan, and Blackjack Bradshaw was the nephew of Blackjack Lanza.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
So, kind of carrying on that
The more you know.
family legacy, the new Blackjacks, and those two guys were very hard hitting with their styles. I mean, you look back at Barry Windham and his WCW NWA days, being a member of the Four Horsemen and on a singles run, and
Teaming with Mike Rotunda.
David with Mike Rotunda. I was gonna say him and Kendall Windham. But I don't think they teamed together. Barry and Kendall.
No, I don't know. I don't know, actually.
But nonetheless, watch Barry Windham with Mike Rotunda and a member of the Four Horsemen, and his singles career, very, very good wrestler. His signature was kind of like a slingshot clothesline, I guess you call it, or something like that. And then, of course, the different variations of Bradshaw. You got Justin Hawk Bradshaw, and then you got Blackjack Bradshaw, and then you got Just Bradshaw when he was with Farouk and the APA.
Yeah.
And then, of course, JBL, and of course, his big thing was the clothesline from hell.
Yeah, the Lariat
Yeah.
from Stan Hansen.
And so them two together, big dude, 6'5", 6'6",
Oh, God, yeah.
300 pounds, are in that range. They fit together pretty well, although the team really didn't seem to last very long together.
No.
But they were good. And the Godwins, they were a very interesting tag team, like you said, being managed by Hillbilly Jim and the Basset Hound, and very unique tag team, kind of like the hillbilly style, and
Yeah.
the slop drop.
Oh, there was a controversial thing with Sonny, I think. I can't remember if that was with them, but there was a controversial thing with Sonny, and I had a friend that was like a few years older than I was, and that's what turned him off of wrestling, basically. So, I mean, yeah, I think that looking at Henry Godwin and then his, tag team with Midian, and then of course Midian going off to be Midian in one of the best stables in the late 90s, the Ministry, and then of course Naked Midian, and then there it is.
Yeah.
So I believe the Godwins won this match.
Yes.
So that's, and again, this was the pre-show that wasn't really on the highlight video that we saw.
And when we watched the highlights for it, going along watching it, and then when it ended, it's like, what, that's it? There was only 4 matches?
Yeah,
Like, holy shit.
pretty much.
But anyway, I'm sure the Godwins and New Blackjacks would have been a really good match.
Oh yeah, and it sucks because I don't think the Godwins ever held the tag titles.
Yeah.
As far as I know, they didn't win the tag titles.
Right.
In fact, I don't think Henry Godwin ever won a title, period.
No, I don't believe they ever did.
No.
So next we go on to the start of the show. To kick off the show, you got Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the Blue Blood, against Mankind.
Yeah, I definitely remember the vignettes. You know, I remember when he debuted. Of course, I wasn't really allowed to watch wrestling at that time for some stupid ass reason. But I remember that, and I remember thinking to myself, you know, it would be interesting if he ever became WWF champion. You know, this was like NDX. There was actually a magazine with, you know, Hunter, and he was doing crotch chop.
Yes.
It was, you know, he's gonna have a match with Steve Austin, and he's gonna become the WWF champion, of course, a few years later. So, I mean, this was like interesting to see, and you know, Paul Levesque being the guy that was also a WCW wrestler, he was a blue blood there, or he had a blue blood type character. He was Jean-Paul Levesque. Then there was Terrorizing.
That was his like
Yeah.
independent beginning of his career. The name he went under, Terrorizing, and then he used it for a little bit when he was in WCW, and then
He came to WWF.
became Jean-Paul Levesque. That didn't last long.
And then he went to WWF. He had Sable as his first valet, and then random ladies, and eventually somehow ended up with China.
Yeah, China got into the mix, and it worked from there.
Yeah, this was a good match too.
Oh yeah.
And you look at, you know, these two individuals, and I can't even count how many matches that these two guys had.
Oh, I know.
I mean, they meshed well so much together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, I thought this was a different match. I thought that this was Triple H going into a pig pen. Obviously, I was wrong.
Yeah.
They actually had a really good match here.
And that was, I think it was either an earlier In Your House or a later one or something. Anyways, yeah, this was a really good match. The rivalry itself between Hunter and Mankind was very good. They battled each other for years, it seemed like. And at one point during the match, you have Mankind kind of mimicking Hunter Hearst Helmsley with a bow, although he doesn't really do it that well. Kind of drops to a knee with it, but still, it's kind of funny to see that.
Yeah, and he gave the mandible claw to
Oh,
Triple H twice.
And of course, you got China getting involved.
Yeah, of course.
Those big arms of hers clobbering Mankind in the head a couple times, and then they eventually end up brawling
Yeah,
outside the ring.
Yeah. They brawled outside the ring, they made it to the back.
They continued to beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
At one point, it looked like they had a boss, I think, backstage or something.
Yeah.
They were throwing each other into that, and there were some kegs, and
Triple H got busted open.
yeah.
So, I mean, oh yeah, but, you know, Mankind hit him with the pile driver.
Yes.
That was, you know, that's one of the things you could say about Triple H is, you know, he took a pile driver from both Mankind and Cactus Jack.
Yes.
So, anyways, this was a double count out.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. But,
That just goes to show you how intense the rivalry was at that period of time.
Yeah, for sure.
Just beat each other up, beat each other senseless just about.
Yeah.
But, and like the match ends up in a double count out, but they end up brawling backstage and Hunter gets busted open and all this other stuff. So yeah, quite an interesting little rivalry. Next we go to...
Greg Suzuki versus Taka Michinoku.
Yes.
And this was, so I mean, WCW had their cruiserweights and WWF had their light heavyweights, which
Yes.
kind of doesn't make too much of a difference, but
No, not really.
you look at the WWF trying to bring in more Japanese wrestlers and Mexican wrestlers, but mostly Japanese. I mean,
Yeah.
Taka Michinoku was one of those guys that definitely really was a good wrestler in that division.
Yes.
A guy that definitely held the light heavyweight title
Yes.
more times than anybody else.
True.
Well, except for maybe Christian.
Maybe, yeah.
However, this guy definitely, I think, should have had more, but obviously, going back to Japan, wrestling there, he still wrestles
Yes.
in New Japan, so that's pretty cool.
Of course, Taka Michinoku and Funaki were Kai and Tai.
Kai and Tai was a good team as well. Comic relief, if you will. You know, but they had a good run as well. I mean, Funaki, as much as they're funny, they definitely kicked a lot of ass.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So,
And of course, Funaki had a fairly good singles run, then he became SmackDown's #1 announcer, and right now he does Japanese commentary for the pay-per-views,
yeah.
so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Taka Michinoku hit the Michinoku driver on the Great Suzuki. That didn't win the match, obviously, but he did win.
Yeah, Great Suzuki did come up with the victory on this one.
Oh, Great Suzuki won. So there's that.
Yeah. And you know, there's a lot of really good spots.
Yeah.
Taka went for a top rope senton, I guess you can call it,
Yeah.
onto Suzuki on the outside, and there was a lot of like spin kicks and all this other stuff. So very good match.
And like I said too, all these guys coming over from Mexico and Japan to WWF, and you had a lot of really good wrestlers from CMLL
Oh yeah.
in New Japan, and probably Noah in
Yeah.
AAA, but this was a time where they tried to see what they can do to compete with WCW, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, this was the Monday Night Wars after all.
Yep.
So,
Now we go to a match that Matt has a very unsavory opinion about, and I'm sure he's got one going on here, got one ready. The World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship match between The Undertaker and Vader, managed by Paul Bearer.
oh yes. Yeah, and it's funny because you look at Paul Bearer, and here's a guy that, and this time, broke it. I mean, how many times did he break it up with The Undertaker? Because
A bunch?
a bunch, yeah. Because, you know, he broke it off, started managing Mankind.
Yeah.
I think it was Mankind and Vader at the same time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, later on that year would be Kane.
Can, yes.
So, yeah, this match was, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, and I mentioned this before. And it's kind of just too bad. Like, that's all I'll say. It's just too bad. You have a guy like Big Van Vader. You know, he makes it as a champion in WCW. And he goes to Japan, becomes an IWGP champion, and wherever else, but he goes to WWE, and he gets fuck all in WWE.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off, because this guy was everything that Vince McMahon wanted.
Yeah.
Everything. He was a big guy, he could move, he had everything. And you would think he would have a title match. Obviously not with Michaels, but with Undertaker. But no, we have to have Undertaker go over on Big Van Vader. Why? I don't know. Let's ask the big fucking moron that's gone into whatever the fuck. Who cares? The fact of the matter is, Vader should have got the WWF title when he fucking deserved it. And he had Paul Bearer as his manager.
Yeah.
So I don't fucking understand it. Undertaker's a great wrestler. He is a great wrestler. You know, he's the GOAT. And that's great. But Big Van Vader should have had the WWF title at some point in time. And this would have been a great moment. Not SummerSlam, this match would have done an end. It would have proved that he could wrestle and beat The Undertaker.
Yeah. See, aside from that point, the match itself wasn't that bad. I mean, you have Undertaker chokeslam Vader, Vader kicks out. Undertaker, I think, has a tombstone on Vader, Vader kicked out. And then Undertaker tombstones Vader again and then gets the win. But aside from that, I mean, the match was, as a whole, was great. Two big guys going at each other.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Vader was probably maybe the one of, if not the toughest opponents he's ever had in his career. And, like, there was one point where he literally booted Vader over the top rope, which is something impressive.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I mean, it's a tragedy because now Leon White's gone. You know, and if I ever, you know, read that Vince McMahon said, "Oh, we could have had him as the champion," I want to kick him right in the grapefruits.
Yeah.
Well, obviously I can't, but that was a waste. It was another example of let's bring a WCW guy over to the company just so we could fuck him in the ass.
And from that, we go on to the main event of the night. You got a 10-man tag match with the Hart Foundation. Brett, Owen, Anvil, Bulldog, and Pillman against Ken Shamrock, Goldust, the Legion of Doom, and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, wow. You know, I look at this match and I think, you know, you look at the Hart Foundation, the new Hart Foundation.
Right.
Bret Hart is the last man standing.
Basically, yeah.
That's just sad. You know, you
I
look
know.
at these guys, and again, you know, the guys that never had a chance to become the WWF champion. You have
Yeah.
Owen Hart, the guy could have been the champion. The guy that could have been a WWF champion at some point, and it just didn't, for some reason, work out.
I know.
I've made my gripe about that, so I
Yeah.
won't talk about it now.
Yeah.
They got Davey Boy Smith, the British strongman, and the guy that also had a shot at the title but never got it. He was the European champion, the Intercontinental champion, Tag Team champion, Hardcore champion. Hell, in WCW, he was probably champions there. You know, I think that it's a shame that his talent got wasted.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it could have been a lot better. It wasn't wasted. I just think it could have been a lot better through the year. Brian Pillman, another guy that went from a tag team wrestler, the Stone Cold Steve Austin, or Stunning Steve,
Yeah.
at that time, and, you know, becoming the original Lunatic Fringe.
Basically.
Yeah, that would have been a good match, you know. Had Brian Pillman not died, I would have liked to see Brian Pillman versus Dean Ambrose or John Moxley.
The Loose Cannon versus the Lunatic Fringe.
Yeah. So there's a reason why he probably never held any WWF championships.
Yeah.
So that's fine. And then you get the last guy who just recently died, Jim Neidhart.
Yes.
And as much as he was a good tag team wrestler and he had the WWF tag team titles, I don't think he had a singles run
No.
for any title in WWF or WCW for that matter.
Jim was mainly a tag team specialist, if you will. He was partnered with Brett for a lot of years. He partnered with Owen in High Energy.
Yes, yes.
You know, they had the New Heart Foundation, so he was a part of that. He kind of was manager, I guess, for Owen when Owen was King of the Ring.
Yeah.
That whole heel run.
Hmm.
And yeah, Jim never really had a singles go.
No. Not even in TNA.
Surprisingly, yeah.
So, I mean, this was also a time, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, where you had the United States versus Canada.
Yeah.
So, this was a weird time, and
Quite.
oddly enough, I hate to admit it now, but cheered for the American team.
Yeah.
You know, I think that, I don't know, it's weird to me because you look at Canada and they cheer Brett, and you know, you go to the States, he gets booed, and then you go to a lot of the other wrestlers and it was either or, you know,
Yeah.
either liked him or you hated him.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you look at Monday Night Raw, for example, in
Yeah.
Toronto, and Sasha Banks turns heel,
Yeah.
and she beats the shit out of Natty. Then she goes out and beats the shit out of Becky, and the crowd's cheering.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like who's supposed to be the face and who's supposed to be the heel?
I know.
And it's Canada, so we're basically Bizarro World.
It's yeah, especially when Natalia comes out and she's talking about, oh, my elbow's dislocated from my match with Becky, and having this heartfelt moment talking about her dad, coming to her in a dream and saying he's proud of her, and
Yeah.
all this other stuff, and then having Sasha come out and hugging her and embracing her, and Natalia's in tears, and then the blind side, and as Sasha's beating up Natalia, I'm pretty sure the fans were chanting, "Thank you, Sasha." I was like, really?
Yeah.
You're actually happy that this random chick is beating up one of your own? What?
That doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm sorry, but I'm not a fan of Natalia by any means, but that was just harsh.
I know. Like, as much as I'm sure Natalia has been criticized throughout her career, and not maybe a little bit not liked, but she still probably was loved and all this other stuff, and she got a pretty good reception at SummerSlam, and then a mere 12 to 24 hours later, she's getting disparaged like that
Oh god.
by her own fans, like in her home country. What?
That's bullshit.
Like, you go from beloved hero to unknowing and unintentional heel.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's how fucked up fans can be.
Unfortunately. But this was a good match too. You go back to these guys, and I don't know if that was on, but he did like a flying drop kick
Yes.
onto Animal,
Yeah.
and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You got the Bulldog doing his patented, stalling suplex, or
Yes.
whatever they called it. But I think that Steve Austin got pinned by Brett, or I can't remember.
I think so, yeah.
And then obviously did a sharpshooter on Brett too. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Hart Foundation obviously won,
Right.
and the classic. Everybody gets into the ring. You have the Hart family. You got Stu and Helen. You have Natalia was there. Tyson Kidd for some reason. Harry Smith. Georgia. Everybody was in the ring.
Yeah.
And it's that classic shot that, you think about it now and it's heart wrenching.
Yeah.
Owen holding one of his kids, and he's got a little Canadian flag with him. So, this was a good show.
Yeah.
And it wasn't very long. I don't think In Your House was very long.
Yeah. I mean, the opening match was a little over 5.5 minutes. The match with Honor and Mankind was a little over 13. The match with Taka and Suzuki went 10 minutes even. Taker and Vader went a little over 12. And the 10-man went just over 24.5 minutes. So the longest match on the card was the 10-man.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, that's In Your House, Canadian Stampede, and so next week, it's gonna be top, whatever number we put up on the screen.
Dot.
Yeah. Favorite movies. Now that's including, cartoons, or adventure, or comedy, or even horror, I guess.
All genres across the
Oh,
board.
yeah, so that's gonna be fun. And then the week after that, I'm not quite sure.
I believe the week after that will be the Friday before NXT UK Takeover Cardiff.
Right, so then that's right. So that's what we're gonna do
So
as well.
we're gonna do a prediction video for
Yes, because we did do one last time for Blackpool.
Yes.
So, yeah, NXT UK Cardiff, and that should be fun. Try to keep up with my NXT UK. So,
yeah.
anyways, this was pretty cool as well. I mean, there weren't too many matches, and when you look at In Your House, I remember thinking when I was a kid, it's like, oh, In Your House, that means they're gonna wrestle in someone's house.
Yeah, really, eh?
Yeah, that didn't happen, but I didn't realize how many matches there were, and I don't even know, any other In Your House matches, like any other card that has shorter matches, like a shorter set list.
I know, right?
So who knows? But anyways,
But even if you look at the set that they had, it basically looked like you walk in the front door and you're like right in the living room, and then the entranceway was like coming out of a garage, essentially.
yeah, I would say that.
It was pretty
I
cool.
never really understood the concept of In Your House, but
Yeah, I
it
didn't
was
get that
fucking
either.
weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, this has been a great episode. A shorter episode,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But we should try to find more of these.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I know King of the Ring is up on Monday.
Right.
But anyways, we will talk to you later. I mean, Matt, this is Killer Kyle. And we'll talk to you next week. Deuces.
Peace. Bye.